Welcome back to LFC Transfer Hub, your ultimate home for all things Liverpool. Today we've got huge transfer drama and breaking news.
Arne Slot press conference, Everton analysis, derby preparation, and more. Alexis Mac Allister, we're building and we want to keep winning. Liverpool v Everton, Merseyside derby team news. Let's dive into Reds. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated. Liverpool's head coach addressed the media at the AXA training centre on Friday before the Premier League champions host Everton at Anfield on Saturday, 12:30 p.m. British summertime kickoff. On the rivalry with Everton and how he compares David Moyes' team this season to last season. When we faced them last season, they had a very good spell as well, and it wasn't a spell because they just kept on going with that and into the season again also. I think they've made some good signings, and one of them is of course a player on loan who was worth £100 million in the past. Someone paid £100 million for him and he is doing so well for them, Jack Grealish. So, a good team. Indeed, there is rivalry, but what I also liked and I want to emphasize in this moment as well is what they did when Diogo Jota passed away, coming to Anfield, being there, and of course they showed their respect from sporting director to sporting director and all these kind of things. So, in these moments of time it's so nice to see that in those tragedies the rivalry is still there, but the respect towards both is also there. So yeah, looking forward to the game tomorrow because every Anfield game is special, but this derby is even more special. On how he prepares the new signings who have not played in the derby before. I have experienced the away game as something different than something I've experienced before than all the other away games we've played, but Newcastle away felt similar for me as Everton away last season. It is not for the first time we play this type of game, and for the new ones it's not the first time they play in circumstances where there is a lot of rivalry, a lot of intensity in the game, a lot of tackles being made. But I think yes, the focus should be on the rivalry but should also be on what we need to do to win that game, and that is being intense, that is winning the duels, but that is definitely also going to be playing good on the ball and playing good when we don't have the ball, be intense. It's again going to be a difficult game because they have many good players. I don't know exactly what they are going to do. Is it going to be like last season when we faced a lot of long balls, while this season I have seen them playing out from the back many times very well? Maybe also because they have brought in some very talented players that can play both styles. So we have to prepare them for that, and of course maybe Virgil, Van Dijk, Emo, Salah, and these kind of players will tell the new ones what they can expect. But we are not talking about rookies. It's not like these players play for the first time in a full stadium or for a first time in these kind of games. If you talk about Florian Wirtz, he has played so many special games in his career already, and I can come up with all the others as well. Yes, it's special, but it is not miles off other special games they have played. On Mohamed Salah's form this season and performance against Atletico Madrid. For me, when you are a great player you still contribute to the team if you don't play well. So many players can contribute goals and assists when they play well, but not a lot of them can contribute something to the team when they don't play well, and by this I mean goals and assists. So, they can always give their work rate, but this is what stands out with Mo. I think, and this is normal, especially when you are a winger, it is so difficult to always be creative, always be the player he was against Atletico Madrid, but if he is not that player, which is normal, then he still has goals and assists, and I think that is why the fans love him so much and why he is so highly regarded and respected. Because a lot of players can play good when the team plays good or when they play good themselves, but not a lot can do special things when they are not at their best, and that's what he can and what makes him so special, I think. But I prefer to see him like he was in the Atletico game. He was very much involved, that was also very positive. So, in the Newcastle game there was hardly ball in play, so it was difficult for every player to be special, but now we played so many balls to him, he was so much involved, touched the ball so many times, Florian found him so many times. So that was a joy to watch, to see him like that, but if we don't see him like that he is still able to score goals, and that's what makes him special. On whether he would consider playing Alexander Isak and Hugo Ekitike as a front two. I consider, of course, because you consider many things and it depends always on how well they are doing, so if both of them are in the best form of their life you would even consider it more, playing them together. But it's also clear that we have a certain structure, which has mainly been 4-3-3, and playing with three midfielders, but the amount of times we have, at the end phase of the game, played with 2 9s, that has happened quite a lot as well. Hugo can indeed also play from the left differently from Cody, Gakpo, or Rio Ngumaha, and that's the good thing about our squad, we have multiple options. But first of all, they all have to stay fit to have these options, and if some of them are not fit, then we might have to use them both in a 4-4-2. That all depends on the form of them and how many players we have available. All of them are fit now, and I think I can maybe choose between 21 players, so that's quite normal. It's not that it's far too much. On whether he has seen a pattern in Liverpool's concession of leads in games this season. We have only played 5 games, so then it is difficult then to see something for the long term in it. So yes, twice we gave away a 2-0 lead, completely different when you see the goals. Against Bournemouth we were too open, maybe we missed Ryan Gravenberch in that position in midfield, so they could just go all the way to our goal and score 2 counter-attacking goals. I don't think Atletico scored 2 counter goals, 2 goals from transition, so you cannot compare that. But it is not ideal that if you have a 2-0 lead, twice we gave it away. So that is something we definitely have to improve, as there are many other things we have to improve. But the positive thing about it is then that if we feel the urgency again, we were able to score a goal. But this is something we talk about with a 2-0 lead, because you can run out of energy or run out of steam towards the end of the season if you every game have to go mentally and physically all the way to the end to win a game of football. So, it is never a good idea to keep on doing this, but if we need it, I still hope we can do it. Alexis Mac Allister, we're building and we want to keep winning. As Liverpool's summer signings continue to settle in, Alexis Mac Allister can already see a squad hungry with the same aim, to win. After becoming Premier League champions last season, there was a significant overhaul of Arne Slot's options ahead of 2025-26 beginning. The Reds have nevertheless picked up the same thread by winning 5 consecutive games in the top flight in Champions League so far this term. Mac Allister knows nothing is certain in football, but the Argentinian believes Liverpool will build and grow as they chase more trophies. We brought many players that are really good and have the quality to play here. I think everyone is really pleased with the transfer window, the number 10, who reached 100 games for the club in midweek, said during an interview with TNT Sports. In football it's crazy, because this doesn't guarantee anything, you have to build a team, and I think we are in that process. There is no doubt about the quality of the players that came in, but then you have to build a team and understand each other. I think we are in that process, and at the end, that's what we want, to win. Mohamed Salah, of course, remains one of the Reds' long-serving talismans. Now in the early weeks of his 9th season of a history-making spell at the club, Salah is 2 goals away from the landmark of 250 for Liverpool. Everything he does is quite special, and that's why he's always in this shape, physically and mentally, Mac Allister said of how his teammate goes about staying at the top level. There are a couple of things that he doesn't want to tell us, that he hides. But we can see the way he works on and off the pitch, especially in the gym. He is every day there, taking care of his body, these small details that make the difference. We are so happy to have him. I learn from him every single day, and one day I want to get to his level in terms of the way he takes care of his body. Liverpool v Everton, Merseyside Derby team news. Arne Slot anticipates a full squad to choose from when Liverpool host Everton in Saturday's Merseyside Derby. Curtis Jones is back in contention, the head coach confirmed, having missed the wins over Burnley and Atletico Madrid following the international break. The Reds will, though, still need to check on the condition of the players in training on Friday afternoon as they swiftly prepare for the Premier League clash with the Blues on the back of the late 3-2 defeat of Atletico in the Champions League on Wednesday night. Alexander Isak made his debut in that midweek fixture and also requires assessment regarding the amount of his involvement at Anfield. We had recovery yesterday. Actually, we're going to train this afternoon, so first of all we have to see how they all feel, said Slot at his pre-match press conference on Friday. What I do know is that Alex did feel his body more maybe than ever before after the 60 minutes he played, so let's see how he's recovered today, and then we're going to think about the lineup mainly today, and you will hear it then tomorrow. Training later on Friday is all to do with the early kickoff on Saturday, that we give them a little bit of extra time to recover, and one of the ways to recover really well is sleep, as we all know. We had to play this week 3 games, which is something we have to do a lot, but it is not many times that you have to do this in 7 days. So, Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday is not a schedule you see a lot. But it is what it is, and we play tomorrow 12:30 kickoff. Meanwhile, Jared Branthwaite is yet to appear for Everton this term due to a hamstring injury in pre-season, while Vitaly Mykolenko suffered a fresh setback during the recent international break. David Moyes did not rule out the defensive pair during his pre-match press conference on Friday morning, though. "They're making progress and we'll see," the Blues manager said. "We've got a couple of other knocks within the camp, but we'll see how they are." If Mykolenko is unavailable, central midfielder James Garner could continue to fill in at left back for the visitors, who have won 2 of their 4 league matches to open 2025-26. Moyes continued, "Jimmy is playing as well as any player at the moment. I think he's probably playing as well as any English midfield player in the country at the moment as well. He's had to play a few games at left back and I have to say, he's done a really good job there as well. He's shown his versatility for us and we know then that if we have to use him we can do that."
Thanks for watching. Like and comment and subscribe.